right. In a three, two, one. Matt, I'm going to tell you right off the top of the show. It's so weird to do an afternoon show. We're used to morning times around here.
Yeah.
I haven't had my nap in today, so we're going to see how this goes. But before we do anything, before we get to the show and all such things, Batman Movies Podcast, that's what you're listening to right now. I just wanted to say, because I don't think I say it enough, I love movies. I'm a
Well,
committed movie lover.
okay. No.
Yes.
There's a better word to use,
Mm-hmm.
and it's fanatic or insane person, because you sent me 2 full pages of single-spaced notes, and I tried to make sense of it, and I don't know who you're talking to, if it's me, if it's somebody else, the other people in your brain, but I can't make heads or tails out of any of these. I'm not sure how high you were while you wrote these, but I'm guessing a lot.
Well,
Like,
guys,
very
I'm going to
high.
say that I did my own podcast with myself through the notes last night when I was doing all
Yeah,
this.
you did.
That's what he's talking about. Let's see if we can recreate this now. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Matt and Man Movies Podcast, where we talk about all things movies. My name is Matt. I have Matt on the other.
I opened up the notes and I was looking at them, because normally it's just like, here's a thing and like a quirky little response, and then it's nonsensical. It is like, if this
It
is
will make sense when we
if
get
this
there.
is if
I
this is
swear.
inside your brain, that's crazy. So I looked them over, couldn't make heads or tails of it, gave up. So I'm kind of
Ooh,
I'm
flat lie
as
today.
I'm as close to raw dogging this as possible.
Oh, this is exciting. You know, guys, I really thought, hey, maybe I'll make some notes for Matt. Sometimes we're not always prepared, so I'll do some stuff. And yes,
I'm never
this is
prepared.
a bit
I'm
of
never
a note
prepared.
sociopath list right here, but not yet. We will get to that. That's going to be biopics we'll get to later in the show, which, come to find out, I fucking love biopics. Who knew? Anywho, let's start off at the top, what we always do. Beetlejuice in theaters this weekend, trying to stave off the onslaught of the movies that have come before it. I don't think it's going to be number one at the box office this weekend, but we'll see.
It will. It will. It will, because right now
Hope so.
it's still Alien Romulus, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just because Alien Romulus has been out for 3 weeks now, it will. It will.
I agree. That's probably
Although
consensus, but
although I went to go see last Sunday night at like 7:10.
Yeah, that's way
I saw a showing of Twisters, and
yes.
it was, except for the front row, it was completely sold out.
Fantastic. As it should be. Glenn Powell, you ever want to come on the show, just let me know. Give me a holler. I'll give you my phone number.
We are Glenn Powell's niece's best friend's third favorite podcast to listen to on Sundays after 5.
It's actually the fourth favorite, but yes, you were close.
Sorry,
You're close. I agree. Michael Keaton is back. Everybody is back, actually.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Judy-
Jeffrey Jones is not back.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But a lot of the people from the original are back. Yeah, this is such a weird anomaly of a movie in the annals of history of movies, quite honestly. I remember seeing it myself. It didn't work for me at all. I have my best friend who watched it 4 times in the theater. He adored this movie. So I'm kind of curious on...
You're talking about Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
You don't like Beetlejuice?
To be clear, I'm going to say I don't like it. I'm very, very indifferent to it. It does nothing for me. It doesn't move the needle for this guy, right?
When Robert Downey Jr. was nominated for Best Supporting Actor for Tropic Thunder,
Mm-hmm.
my wife and I were watching, and she said, if he got nominated for this, shouldn't Michael Keaton have won like 9 awards for Beetlejuice? Because, I mean, his character in that, unlike anything you'd ever seen before. Unlike anything.
Yes.
And I haven't seen this movie yet. I haven't seen the new one, but I don't know. It just kind of feels like, from what I've seen so far, it's almost like a sequel to the cartoon.
Ah, I see. Okay.
I mean, just the fact that he's in the striped suit the whole time, and that's not like what he only wears in the movie. He actually wears the tuxedo longer.
Right.
He's dressed up like Alec Baldwin for a while. He's dressed up as a cabbie
I know, right?
at one point. Um, y- but the cartoon had him in the striped suit the whole time.
Right.
And when he like Broadway, it's all about the striped suit, and it feels like. And Michael Keaton actually mentioned this. He said, he was kind of surprised. He didn't want it to feel like the merchandised character. He wanted it to feel like the character he created. And there was too much. Like when he saw the suit, it's like it's too much of the marketing at that point. So
right.
I don't know. Like I hope it's a return to form for everybody. I want to love it. I always want to love a Tim Burton movie because between 85 and 99, he didn't have a miss for me. He didn't have a miss at all.
You know what? I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling positive. So I'll tell you I will stay out of the Tim Burton discussion. Did you see that there's
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Because he makes fun. He used to make fun stuff, and you don't like fun stuff. I forgot about that. And he doesn't make like only crime thrillers. I forgot. Okay, so you obviously didn't like him.
Yeah, you can start leaning into that apparently, and you're going to continue to be wrong.
Yeah, well,
okay. We will talk about a Gene Hackman movie later. Jurassic World Rebirth is on the horizon next year. It's coming to theaters.
yeah.
It's got some big names in it. People that I was really surprised they were in it. But does it have anything else? Are you excited about this new Jurassic World? Jurassic World.
Well, okay, so I don't know if you can tell from looking behind me, but I kind of like Jurassic Park.
That's why I come to you, the expert.
Okay, so you're going to have the big names because, except for the third one, they basically all made $1 billion. Sure. Right? Jurassic World, I think, is still in like the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time. And if you adjust it for inflation, I think Jurassic Park is definitely in the top 10.
You imagine?
Like Jurassic Park was in theaters for a year, over a year. It was like 15, 16 months. Right. The issue with this is that Gareth Edwards is directing, which is great. And he's going to make something that looks absolutely incredible because that's kind of what he does. But when they were looking for a director, because they had somebody else that it fell through, Universal said, I wish. I wish I'd do almost anything to work in that franchise. I've got a pitch ready to go. I have a pilot for something like a pilot script ready to go. I've got a pitch deck ready to go. Anyway, so Universal, please.
Give Matt a call.
But Universal said, hey, we got a Jurassic World movie coming out July of next year, and we need a director. And it's like, wait, that's a year from now. And they said, we need someone to come in and shoot it and not like bring too many ideas, which is basically like, it sounded like they've been working on that. They were prepping it during the strike, right? Which of course they wouldn't do.
What?
They wouldn't. No,
never.
But it sounded like they had a project ready to go and they needed someone to step in, kind of like what happened with Jurassic Park 3 and Joe Johnston. Although he is a fantastic director, he's made some of my favorite movies. But they're not looking for an auteur for this one. That said,
they just need a GM.
Yeah. That said, I guarantee it's going to look beautiful, and they're going to get a whole lot of people in opening weekend because Gareth Edwards makes really good looking movies, and he just did The Creator, right? And The Creator was real cheap and looked real good, and you always want that.
That's all I'm
excited for it. Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
The last one, unfortunately, is the only time I've watched one of these movies, and I saw it in the theater opening night, and I was like, I don't need to see this again.
I don't remember the last time.
Meanwhile, like I still have the original VHS right there.
Right.
I bought that at Suncoast in Louisville, Texas. I pre-ordered it in October, I think, of 93 or 94, like early 94. Yeah, I am. And I bought that with my own money. That is my copy of The Lost World. That is my copy of Jurassic Park 3. There is a Lost World Hong Kong VCD that I cannot find a second of, so I have no idea how much that thing's worth.
Yeah.
I bought that off of eBay in 98. I have laser discs for the movie for Jurassic Park, the making of it. I've got a lot of stuff. There are people who have more, but like I love this franchise, and I wish I was more excited about it. But you know, that's where we are.
Hey, I'm going to transition you with the random transition to go to something that has nothing to do with this. Hey, did you see that picture of my guy Vincent Gallo with Trump this week?
Let's talk about another picture that I saw. Hey, did you see it? There's a set photo from Fantastic Four where it looks like the Thing is going to be a practical costume. That looks neat because I don't want to get into the other thing.
Short topic. I guarantee this will be a short topic. Let's play the Do You Know What Festival just ended?
No.
Okay, the Venice Film Festival, lots of time.
Oh yeah. I saw.
Angelina Jolie had to dodge Brad Pitt. It was a whole thing. Yeah, so that's exciting. Did you see any of the movies that are going to be played
Your
there?
obsession with these festivals is so weird to me. I don't know.
I got a thing for festivals, man, and you know, the idea, you know, it's still old school to me that, you know, you can go to this place and you can show this thing and to be able to debut something like that in some of those settings. I like Venice. I like the Berlin Film Festival, certainly can, and Toronto. But those environments, yes, it's pomp and circumstance, but you know what? Sometimes pomp.
And I think that's kind of my issue with it.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Like I dated a girl.
Let's compare outfits today and we know who's fancy and who's came in his t-shirt. I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm fanciful.
It's also laundry day. Nothing clean.
Nobody can smell you through the computer. That is for sure.
That was a Terminator quote. But no, I dated a girl my senior year of high school who we were getting in kind of an argument once, and she goes, "Well, I don't like doing stuff like going to film festivals." And I looked at her like, "I've never been to a film festival. What are you talking about?" Everyone assumes that I really dig that scene. I don't have anything against it, really. It's just like you know, I don't know, a little.
You don't like people. I get you. I hear what you're saying.
No, I like people, but I don't like pretending. I don't like fakeness.
Oh,
I like, you know, sitting down and like actually getting to know people.
I do like a nice fake dinner every now and again.
Oh no, it's
I don't know. You know, sometimes you got to play. I don't know. We've never talked about this before. This is just a random topic. There's no reason that we're going to talk about this. I'm just curious. What device do you watch for TV? Do you have multiple ones?
Yeah.
Have you been through multiple ones? Or you just want to do the Apple?
No, I have an Amazon Fire television, like a television set in my room. I will never get one of those again.
You are very inclined to just using that, yeah.
I have a couple of Fire TVs, like the sticks that my kids use now. And my problem with them is they work really well initially, but like once they get a little old, like ours takes forever to turn on, you know, and like to just choose a channel, it just takes forever.
Sure.
I've had Roku's. This TV behind me is just like a standard Roku. I use my PlayStation 5. I use an Apple set-top box, and then my TV in my living room is a Vizio, which has its own thing built in. So I use everything.
Do you notice, is it just the app itself, or do you think it's device that my Amazon Prime, the volume's usually like 25, but if I'm using any of the other streaming services, it's like at 50 or 60. Is that just an Amazon versus everybody else thing? Is that because I'm watching on the Fire Stick versus a Roku? What's up with that?
I don't know. That's weird. All I know is that I know you hate Apple because you're very weird.
I like good things. It's my fault. My bad.
Shut up. God. No, the Apple TV is one of the cleanest designs. It is smooth. It does not give me any trouble. Like, it is snappy. It's responsive. You can have multiple things open at once. So like if I'm watching something, I'm like, oh, well, you got to check this out really quick on YouTube. I don't have to like fire everything up brand new again like I do on every other app. Like, it's like using a computer. So for me, like the Apple TV all day.
Is there a worst one?
I'm not a big fan of Chromecast.
I never got that thing working right.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Chromecast, but again, I really like the Fire TV layout. I really like it as an idea, but every single one I've had has become so slow I can't use them anymore.
Yeah, especially well, I had that problem with Roku's because they design them to, crap out after a year.
Roku is just kind of slow in general. Like you have to go press,
Sure.
wait, press,
Mm.
wait. Meanwhile, again, Apple TV, you just like slide, 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 slide. You don't even have to press a button.
With all those options, I guess you don't have to, but do you ever just hook your laptop up to the TV anymore?
No, what I do is if I need to use Plex or something, I can just screencast.
Mm.
Like half
Yeah.
the time this is on right here, it's screencasting from the computer I'm using because,
How'd you just do that, by the way?
Macs are awesome like that. But right now this is playing off my PS3.
Fire Stick, I'm rocking the Fire Sticks right now, and it's been good. Is yours jailbroken?
I've jailbroken one of them, and I bought the second generation game controller to go with it because I wanted a Fire Stick I could take with us on vacation
Hmm.
and have video games on it.
Yep.
And it worked really well. But then we stopped using that because we had other systems at home, and it started to get really, really slow. So I had to replace it. And that's actually like I think that's the thing is that you can buy these things at like 5 different points in the year for like $19.
Sure.
And if you any usually like the controller is like 18. So they're basically giving these things away. And when they're not on sale, they're still only 50, right?
Right.
And I think that's kind of my the issue with it is that they are so cheap they don't expect them to last because hey, just buy another one in a year.
I don't care. There's no rhyme or reason. But the internet was talking about Logan Lucky this week. So let's talk about it, shall we? It's been like 7 years since it's been out.
It's when did it come out? Like 2016?
Yes.
It's my favorite movie. Whatever movies that came out that year, that was my favorite one.
So much fun. Everything about that movie was a grand time. I was trying to explain to somebody the John Denver little girl singing the song moment in the movie to somebody the other day that had never seen it. And they were like, what are you talking about? Why are you crying for this whole thing? But
okay, so it's not just me because
no, every time she gets me every freaking time. It's so wonderful. It's so
my oldest daughter and I, every time we watch it, we get teary-eyed. Like that. First of all, I think this is the movie that really sold me on Channing Tatum. Where it's like, I just really like this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of little stuff in it that's character building. Like at the beginning when he gets fired and he walks out to his truck and he's like 30, 40 feet away from the bin that holds the helmets. And he takes it off and just throws it. And you're like, oh, that's right. He was a star quarterback, but got hurt. And that's why, he's not making millions of dollars. And I remember the first time I saw it, Seth MacFarlane kind of bothered me with his portrayal, but then someone said, just think of this as like an old Burt Reynolds movie. And then I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah.
It's imperfectly. Yep.
Totally sold.
I think this was the first time I fell in love with Adam Driver. I mean, I'd seen him before, but this really kind of coalesced him for me.
Okay. So this movie takes place in West Virginia, right?
Yes.
When I was making Blue Moon, I was very specific that we couldn't have the generic Southern accent. Whoever was not from the region had to learn that accent because that Eastern Kentucky, West Virginia, Appalachian accent is so incredibly specific.
Sure.
And almost every actor who tries to do that, they just do generic Southern accent. And Adam Driver in that movie sounds exactly like an uncle of mine. Like, I mean, exactly like it. He even kind of looks like him too. To the point where I watch it, I'm like, okay, I liked Adam Driver before, but now he's and then we got to talk about the MVP of the whole movie.
Oh, are we going
Daniel Craig?
Sure. Yes.
I am incarcerated.
And was it 3 movies now that we've got him as that character and and kind of in general, like he did it in Glass Onion, he's doing that kind of stuff. And it's fantastic every time. He it's different, but I think it kind of comes from that.
Yeah. His Benoit Blanc is one of my favorite characters in movie history. But Logan Lucky, the reason why someone posted about it was because they were talking about George R. R. Martin and still not having finished Winds of Winter. And they said, hey, look, Logan Lucky came out in like 2016, 2017, and they were still talking about back then how he was late delivering his book. And that's what it
Right.
was. Because that's my favorite scene in the whole movie. And it's my favorite performance in almost any movie ever.
Mm.
When the guy talked, first of all, we also got to mention Dwight Yoakam, who kills it in that movie.
Ugh. He's been oh man, me and Dwight.
But when he's reading from the Wikipedia page, and that guy goes, "That don't make no sense." You know, those other guys came and they said they saw the chick with the dragons. And he's like, "Well, I think that's from the show." And when he just throws up his hands and walks off,
Yeah,
it's the funniest thing. Everything about that movie is incredible. But I got to ask you a question.
please.
Do you think Hilary Swank lets it go at the end, or does she take them all in eventually?
She takes him in. I think
so?
at the end of the day, yeah, she is the character that has a good conscience, and I don't think that she could just live her life that way, regardless of how she felt about him. You know, I still think the law was number one for her.
I wanted them to get away.
Sure. I
I
mean,
don't know because the case is closed.
that's true.
You know,
That's true. I mean, you hope for them. Do you have a favorite Soderbergh movie? Is it this one?
It's that. Yeah.
It is.
Ocean's 11's a very close second because if there's any movie that could give Pulp Fiction a run for its money for coolest movie ever, it's Ocean's 11.
Mm-hmm.
But like and you know, I gotta say, I actually just watched Behind the Candelabra yesterday.
Oh my God. Fucking fantastic.
And that could get into biopics.
Yes, it could.
Because I was thinking, man, he should have won an Oscar for that.
Everybody should have won for that.
Everybody in that movie. Scott Bakula in that movie just kills it. Yeah, that whole cast is just goated. But like I've said about Steven Soderbergh,
Out of Sight.
Okay, so Steven Soderbergh has never made a bad movie. He's made movies that I don't dig. There's a big difference.
Yep.
Right? There's a big difference. But he's never made an objectively bad film.
Who takes as big a swings as him? I mean, he did the movie with the porn star just because that was an interesting theme.
Yeah.
You know, and he's always, you know.
He's like, I'm going to make 3 movies shot on an iPhone.
Exactly. Yeah. His forward thinking and technology with film has been so important to how things evolve. Like him and Fincher being able to work with that technology and pushing it forward has been essential for how things have gone the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah, without a doubt. Also, I love the fact that he shoots his own stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And he's got this look that I love where you let incandescence make the entire scene yellow.
Oh, yeah.
Which you don't sadly have anymore because like there are no incandescent light bulbs, it seems like. But yeah, like although I do think Traffic being as popular as it was kind of led to that it's now a meme where like Mexico is just like a regular place with an orange filter.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, you know,
I do like that. Yeah.
But
it's insane to me since 1989 that dude's been making movies. Sex, Lies, and Videotape was all the rage that year when it hit the festival circuit back when it was fun.
Made those 2 movies about Che.
Made the 2 movies.
Which came out of like nowhere.
Yep. And I bet most people haven't seen that, which is kind of sad.
No. And it's funny because he always says like, I'm retiring. And he's like, nah. Let's also not forget he made one of the most prophetic movies of all time to a degree that almost seems like I should be wearing a tinfoil hat. Have you seen Contagion?
Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Contagion is a movie where there is a worldwide pandemic.
If that's not a horror movie,
that starts in Wuhan, China, because somebody eats a bat.
Yep.
Right. And there is a guy who tells everyone it's fake and not to, take the medicine they're told to take. And he's a conspiracy theorist and people listen to him and he gets people killed. Like it's so dead on. Like these kids are having their prom
Ugh.
in their living room because
Mhm.
they can't go to school. And you're just watching it and going like, wait, huh? Because I think I saw this during quarantine. I had
A lot of
gotten
people did.
I got in a screener of it at work and I had a digital code and I just never gotten around to watching it. And I started watching it. I'm like, wait, what? It's like this came out 5 years ago. What?
Mhm.
No. And it's one of those where if I were a little more unbalanced, I'd probably be like, they're trying to tell you, you know,
I
they were
worked
telling
so hard
us.
not to do that. Yeah, I know. I was watching some news stuff yesterday, and was just like, "Oh, don't make me be that old man."
Yeah.
First of all, everybody, give me about 5 minutes, and I'll be the old man shaking my fist at the sky. I promise you. But until then, I want to make sure to give highlights to his most underrated movie, as far as I'm concerned. That's The Informant. Matt Damon's
Yeah.
character in that movie is just banana cakes. Again, it can fit in our biopics that happens later, but like every part about that movie, the music in that film makes that film because it makes it so different. It's not a standard kind of music thing. And so that movie, I could watch that movie side by side with Logan Lucky, or we could expand into the Coen Brothers universe and throw that with Burn After Reading. I'd be the happiest
Wait,
man in the world.
so we've got the three Oceans movies.
Mm-hmm.
We have Contagion.
Mm-hmm.
You have what you just mentioned, and Behind the Candelabra. He's done six with Matt Damon.
Crazy.
Why don't people talk about that when they talk about director actor team ups?
Those are
Is
absolutely some of my favorite Damon movies.
is Soderbergh like? Does he just fly under the radar that much?
It seems to be he's a no fuss, no muss kind of guy. Give him a couple of bucks and he's going to go make a film and he'll use his phone if he has to. He just likes making movies.
Yeah, where it's like, hey, I'm going to drop a movie on Netflix. It was shot on an iPhone 7 and it's going to look awesome. There you go.
Yep. Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep. It's crazy. And then he did that whole show, the Nick. Never saw a second of that show.
Oh yeah.
Everybody said it was fantastic.
Good for him.
What
Good
a,
for him.
what a guy. What a guy. Soderbergh, baby. All right, we got a minute and a half. Let's get this in before we run out of time. There's been a new trend on the Twitters recently, on the X, if you were. Everybody just keeps going, hey, what's your favorite blah, blah, blah? Here's mine. How you feel about that?
It is cheap engagement.
Ding! And that's why you'll find on Madman Movies Twitter this week.
Yeah, right. No, it's okay, so there are a couple that I follow that they'll have like 2 week long brackets, like
Yeah.
like an NCAA bracket where it's like best horror movies of the 2000s or whatever.
Mhm.
Those are fine, you know, but where like there's one that I've seen where it's like they'll post a picture from Back to the Future. They'll say like, "Who's a fan of Back to the Future?" It's everybody's
know.
a fan of Back to the Future.
I know.
I don't think there's a more likable movie than Back to the Future.
What was
You
the one
know?
I sent you about this movie is so underrated? I was like, fuck
Yeah,
underrates
yeah,
this.
yeah. No, it's it's kind of like what is it Rolling Stone? Every so often they'll release
We'll put out a garbage
an
list.
editorial,
Yeah.
and it's like the worst take ever.
Yep.
And it's like why dogs actually all deserve to die. It's like it's just to get clicks. It's all it is there to do.
Well, you just got us clicks with that one because that's definitely going to be our video this week. That's because for me it's funzy. I'm just giving them a hard time because look, I mean, you post that if it's fun things, so you can go through that list and you're like, oh sweet, 100 people responded to this, so I got 100 new movies that maybe I've never
Yeah.
seen before. That's about, I think there was like a 70s conspiracy one that of course I had to post on, and a couple of different ones. So it's just fun. It's just been a weird trend recently that everybody seems to be jumping on that bandwagon.
Well, it's kind of like how everyone's gone to reaction videos instead of like reviewing
Sure.
on
Yeah, that's
YouTube.
true. Yep.
But I don't know. The more I see of stuff like this, the more I realize media literacy is pretty much dead.
Gone out the window. Nobody listened to Noam Chomsky, and now here we are.